A world where trombone players and musicians want to know the answers to burning questions. Top trombone players, even me, are here with Paul the Trombonist Nowell to answer your burning questions.
I like to let the horn do the work for me.
I see.
And from that, I've talked to guitar players. And when they're what they call shredding, they're basically playing little circles. Their pick is going in little circles. Their fingers are going in little circles. It feels like a circle to them.
Mm.
So, for instance, if we were going to play just a G minor scale, okay, pretty easy. Probably be easier to do this. That feels more like a circle to me because your slide's just going in, out, in, out, in, out.
Yeah.
Okay? But you can continue that up.
Nice.
And really, you've half the amount of slide motion you have to make because you're not having to go. Now you can that would work for a G minor 9 chord. That'd work on a C7 chord. That would work on a B flat major 7 chord. I like to multi-purpose my licks.
Get the most mileage out of them.
Well, you get the most mileage out of them because the trombone is a difficult instrument to play. And really, the flexible range is not as great as that of a saxophone. Now, you can go down low for effects, but there's not really a way to chromatically work your way down there because you've got this huge skip between 7th and 1st position from the B natural to the B flat. So, I take a cue from guys like Julian Priester, who, when confronted with an augmented chord, played this.
Nice.
B flat augmented, which would also be a C augmented, which would also be a D augmented, which would also be an E augmented.
They all work with each other.
They all work with each
depending
other.
on what chord tone.
So if you, rather than sit there and try and play, you could just play. And you're moving your slide much less, covering more territory on the horn, and from my perspective, using the layout of the harmonic series to your advantage rather than your disadvantage. So, if you, let's go back to that, like my theory of playing in circles, which could be totally asinine, I have no idea. But you can combine that with another guitar technique called fretting, which is a guitar player really only has to learn something in one key. Then he has it in all 12 keys. He can just move it farther up the neck or farther down the neck. And we can do that on trombone just as easily. We did the G minor 7 thing a minute ago. We could do it on F sharp. And, for that matter, you can continue it farther out, but sooner or later.
It's just the same distances, but down slide position by slide position.
Right.
So, real quick, question about that. Now, if you were to use the same type of muscle memory and say the stuff you've worked out in the key of F, and you were just to go down in 2nd position and pretend 2nd position was 1st, would it technically work out using alternates to play in the key of E?
Absolutely. Okay.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So you end up like you learn this super cool lick. I don't know if it's super cool or not. Pretty standard. And many times, like most of the stuff I play in C sharp minor I learned in D minor, and I just think of it as 3 inches farther away from my face.
That's wise, because C sharp minor,
It's just
it's no one's best friend.
well, you can't mentally get your mind around what notes you're playing. So my theory is, take what notes you're playing out of the equation. Just think in terms of how that slide feels. Like on a B minor 7, you could do the same thing. I like to do, like we just did this. Okay, now there's a lot of licks that'll work with. For instance, in the key of B flat.
Wow.
If I'm playing in the key of G blues, I mostly just stay in 4th and 5th position.
Oh, wow.
You know, it's like.
So are you even thinking G or just going by feel of?
Well, I'm thinking I'm in the key of G.
Uh-huh. I see. You're just using a lot of alternates.
I'm using, well, yeah, but they don't seem like the alternates to me. That just seems like the right place in the horn to play that lick.
Okay.
You know, why would you? That seems like a lot more work to me. You've got a perfectly good G there. You know? Don't neglect it.
What about if you were in A flat? Would you think the same way?
Even in the key of A, which is really hard to conceive of on a trombone.
That's cool, man. So
Fretting.
yeah, so in the key of A, do you think B flat? Or do you don't even think?
I think you have to think in the practice room.
Uh-huh.
But when you're confronted with A blues and you're sitting in with like a guitar band,
Yeah.
you really can't think. Nor can you pull your tuning slide out 3 inches because it just falls off.
The stuff you have worked out in B flat, though, you use it in A?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
When I'm playing in A, I'm really just playing in B flat.
Wow.
For the most part. This in B flat would be, whereas in A, it's actually easier. And you can do that all over the place. Let's combine a couple of the things that we've talked about. Playing in circles,
Yeah.
doing the da-da-da-da-da-da articulation.
Okay.
And, and fretting.
Nice.
So, now, let's combine that with reuse. Reuse. Okay, so this is a B flat 7 lick. A lot of that, I mean, how many times you heard this thing? That's a pretty 1-6-2-5.
Yeah.
So you can use this on your 1 chord. But isn't that high A flat to B flat just a sharp 9 and a flat 9 on a G7 chord?